Hi everyone, welcome, Mashir again. Today we're going to learn how to land. So in our first lesson we'll learn how to take off and fly around. And today I want to go through how to do landing approaches and how to actually land the plane. So the first thing to remember is it's the motor power, or your throttle, that controls where the plane is climbing or descending. So if you're landing the plane, you don't want to be doing anything like pushing down on the elevator or trying to force the nose of the plane to go towards the ground or anything like that. It's the power of the motor that is going to make the plane descend and land. But the hardest part of landing is not actually landing the plane itself, it's not the touchdown, it's more the landing approach, how to bring the plane round and come in for the landing really. That is the harder part, and that's really what we want to go through. But landing the plane itself is not so difficult. If you get your approach right, then your landings are going to be right. So let's start by taking off. One thing to remember as well is we're not going to be using flaps, as I said earlier, or in my first lesson. Flaps help you land the plane, but we're not going to be using any flaps. So to do a landing approach is really quite simple. At this stage you should be quite confident flying around, doing figure eights, and you got your orientation sorted out, so when the plane is coming towards you, left is right and right is left, because 90% of the time when you're landing, you're going to land the plane when it's coming towards you. So all that should be sorted. What you want to do is you want to go out, fly parallel to the runway like I just did, go out and bring the plane around so that the plane is coming straight dead down the runway. Now you want to always land into the wind, not with the wind, because that will slow down the plane and it will make it easier to land. But basically that is a landing approach. Just fly straight, nice and low over the runway like that. We're going a bit fast, but that's how I would recommend you start practicing your landing approaches. So fly parallel to the runway, like I just did. We'll pretty much go out to the runway. You don't have to be 100%, but as long as you're there or thereabouts. We're flying nice and level. Our height, we're not going higher, we're not losing height, we're just flying at the same height. Turn the plane around, and then at that point you start going your power, and the plane is just slowly coming towards the ground. You're going to put a little bit of power, and that's basically what a landing approach is. If I leave the plane, that would have just landed. Just going to go around again. And that's all you got to do. Now, when you first start doing this, it's not going to be as easy as that. You might be a bit too short and have to put a lot of power to bring the plane back, or you might be a bit too long. And if you overshoot the runway, don't try to force the plane to land, just power up and go around again. That's the safest thing to do. You might also start coming at a funny angle, so not quite straight down the runway. So you might be trying to do things like this, where you're not coming quite straight. So when something like that happens, don't try and force the plane, power up, and go around again. So all that will come with experience. But if you're trying to land, before you do a landing, do a few approaches. Sometimes when I have a new plane, I will just go around a couple of times just to get a feel for how the plane does when it's coming to land. So this time we're going to land the plane, so we're going to come round nice and straight. We've got power on, and the plane is just coming down. I'm going to put a little bit more power, and then now I'm going to cut my power, and the plane is just coming towards the ground really, really nicely there. So that's basically what a landing is. It's the approach that is the hard bit, not the actual landing of the plane. Let's just take off again and go around again. The good thing is every approach is going to be different, and it really just comes with experience, how much power you need to have, how much height you need to have. Sometimes you could cut your power completely, sometimes you need a little bit of power to help you land. The speed's going to be different, everything's going to be different, so it comes with experience. But as long as your approach is basically the same, then you shouldn't have any problems landing a plane. So if you found this helpful, hit the like button, and if you haven't subscribed, subscribe to my channel, and see you again. Thank you, bye.